Hiya, it's the end of April 2025 and time for a bit of an update on what the garden looks like. So we'll start from the house, looking down into the back garden, and you can see we've put in this new path which snakes all the way down. So because we put in this bed here and the greenhouse over there, that obviously stopped the path we had that runs down the side from reaching all the way to the far end. So we've decided to add this one, and that's really useful. So we now have a path that goes all the way from one patio to the other, and we also, you can see, put in a bit more kind of gravel around the bed that connects up with the gravel around the greenhouse. So all of that stuff's really useful, means it's much easier to get from one end to the other. In terms of plants, down at this end, we've got the Acer, which is in a pot. We've got a few little pots with some little bits and pieces in. Some of this stuff has started to go over, and some of it's about to kick into gear. I think this is a Ostaspermon, which is gonna put some flowers out very soon, seems to be budding. Down this edge, we actually have a few bits and pieces that we actually rescued from the front garden, because we've completely changed the front, and I'll show you what that looks like. But these are just some like Heucheras that we dug up, some grasses, Nautia, bits and pieces that are kind of just rescued. We don't know where they're going to go, they're just in pots temporarily. In terms of this bed, we've got some shallots here. So we started those off in the greenhouse and now they're in the bed. Around the edge, we've got a couple of different types of onion, so just a small amount of onions this year. Some onions that we started from seed, and then I think these ones around here are a bit more like spring onions. We've got in the middle here, we've got some cabbages. So these are going to be like a kind of sweetheart cabbage, I think that's what they're called. So that'll be nice. And then down at this end, just some pots of some spare peas and spare lettuces. Just chucked a few lettuces in, and we've put the peas up against this thing at the back, so they'll grow up there. And over the next month or two, we should start getting some peas out of those. Over here, we have a lot of pots which had a lot of daffodils in, and now those have all gone over. But what we do have is our lovely tulip bed, so lots and lots and lots and lots of lovely tulips the whole way down. So this has been really nice to look at. One of the nicest things in the garden, a nice long border of tulips. All sorts, different types that we put in. We've just planted them all in a bit of a hurry, to be honest, last autumn, but they've done really well. It's about to get really hot here, so there's a chance that they'll all go over with the heat, but nice to see them while they're still nice. Over in this bed we have the same usual stuff in here actually. So we've got an Acer, we've got Aquilegia down here, we've got various different bits and pieces, again Heucheras which like the shade, Polyminium here which is just starting to flower, that's nice. The other Polyminium we actually split into two halves, so there's a little bit there and a little bit there. Tried to get it out of the cover of this big Acer, because this one gets bigger and bigger every year, and it's looking particularly big this year. And then we've also got Fatsia here, which has started, looks like it's started to split in two, so we've now got two separate trunks coming off it, so that's going to get even larger. And then we have our little rhododendron down here, which seems to grow very slowly. Doesn't really get too big, but that's okay. Over here, got more pots, so some more tulips which are going okay. We've got what's that, Agapanthus, which is kicking into life. So we've got one pot of it here, one pot here, and then these three behind are also Agapanthuses, which are just growing. Various bits and pieces growing over here and here, stayed like getting ready to go out into the front. Some strawberries which seem to quite enjoy their time in this pot. They're all flowering, so hopefully soon they'll start turning into actual strawberries. As we come around here, more things just getting ready. Various bits and pieces down here. This is some sweet corn, which just kind of planted out today, so I've been growing it a bit more tightly and just moved it into individual module trays today. And then in this bed we've got some lettuce at the back. So lettuce, and I think there's some like this called wasabi mustard. So those leaves can go in salad as well. We've got a couple of little rows of spinach just starting. And over here we've got some different types of radish, which have all kicked into gear. And then this stuff's garlic. So you can see it's actually at a different height. And that's just because we put the garlic in last year. And then we've topped up the bed with loads of new soil. But obviously we didn't want to bury all the garlic. So we had to build a little wooden divider to just hold the new soil back. So once the garlic's up, we'll backfill the rest of that as well. Speaking of, you can see the soil storage. So we've got lots of soil and compost just all being stored there, ready to be used. At the back here we actually have a few potatoes that have just started growing, so those will be kicking into life soon. And then into the greenhouse, so if we zoom out, actually you can see we've got just things on shelves everywhere and along the floor, and lots of dahlias at the back and lots of different bits and pieces. So these are cosmos plants. We've got a load of different tomatoes, which are all doing quite well. We've got about 4 different types here. We only need about 4 plants, but we've got about 15. So we'll have to pick the best ones. More cosmos. Up here, there's a few different types of veg. So we've got some leeks that have started. We've got some beetroot starting. At the back there is perennial rocket. Managed to find some seeds, so we're growing some of those. And then yeah, lots of different things, some like chard here, some rudbeckias, flowers, more cosmos, dahlias everywhere, dahlias over there. Just started over here, just potted these out today. That's some sunflowers, some more cosmos, some more cosmos, and some more cosmos. So cosmos everywhere. A few herbs here, trying to get some different types of basil, some sage, some chives, and some herbs that haven't started germinating yet, but hopefully will do soon. So yeah, greenhouse getting lots and lots of use. At some point we're going to have to clear all of this stuff, because then the tomatoes are going to go into the bed here, and some aubergines which are currently growing inside, they're gonna put 1 or 2 of those into the bed as well. So yeah, so that's what the back looks like. At the moment, like I say, nicest thing's this tulip border, and then at some point when that all dies back, we'll then transplant in some other flowers. So all those rudbeckias, probably some of those sunflowers are going to go into here as well. We're going to use some of the sunflowers in this bed as well, and maybe grow some beans climbing up the sunflowers as well. So yeah, lots of plans, so we'll see how that goes. And this is the front, which is now looking completely different to how it looked before. So we used to have grass all along this area. We've got rid of all of the lawn. This space in the middle is going to become a path. You can see we've got lots of little bits of rock, which is actually smashed up paving slabs. So we broke those up ourselves, and then we're going to tessellate those together and make that into a path, so it'll look like an old kind of rock path. And then the rest of it we've got built up with lots and lots of soil, and then different plants coming in here. So up here we've got an archway for a climbing rose, so that's like a nice white one called Iceberg. We've got a few other kind of big things in here, so sweet peas here, sweet peas up this little wigwam. I think we've got a few different bushes. This is a hydrangea here, but really it's just going to be a case of waiting for all these plants to fill out. At the moment, lots and lots of soil that you can see, so hopefully soon that will all go away. I think that's everything. So the front's obviously still in the early stages, but hopefully that'll start filling out nicely soon. We've obviously got all these plants in the greenhouse that we're going to start shoving in the front as well, so soon there'll be more and more flowers in there. So hopefully in another month or 2 it should start looking a much more packed out with flowers. Cool, see you soon.